Now, Africa Energy Summit, which we just watched, the leaders there say they are committed to energy transformation with more than $50 billion backing from global partners. And to speak on what this means for the African continent is an energy expert, Bala Zakka. He joins us virtually from Lagos. Mr. Zakka, welcome to Business Express.
Thank you.
I understand that one of the aims of the summit is actually to boost utility efficiency, attract private investment, and expand clean cooking solutions to more than 300 million Africans at the target. Yes, it's about lighting up Africa, it's about energy solutions. What's your take on this?
About the number, I was impressed. It was a good number. I was impressed about it. But you're talking about an average of 60 million African citizens getting electricity per year in the next 5 years. So you're talking about 300 million citizens. That's excellent as far as I'm concerned, because I personally believe in the African Union core values, which is respect for diversity and teamwork. You know, we should always think Africa above all. There should be transparency and accountability. There should be integrity and impartiality. You know, we should also have efficiency and professionalism. But most importantly, there should be information and knowledge sharing and cross-fertilization. So my belief is this: the leaders, as we describe them here, you know, because in this context, I mean, leaders are to citizens just like what parents are to children. So it's an association where leaders met now to make that a possibility. It's something I believe is achievable. But by the time we start cascading it now to the implementation, it has to be implemented based on individual countries. And once we start doing that, then we have to start looking at it from our own perspective as Nigerians. What number do we intend to achieve? To what extent can Nigeria be lit between now and the year 2030?
Okay, great. For me, I also believe, and I also believe that a good number of Africans out there also believe that access to electricity is actually a fundamental human right, and without it, countries and people cannot thrive, businesses cannot grow, young people cannot be industrious. Now, this is why they are looking at providing this electricity to this number of people as a critical first step. How do we get to achieve this? Yes, I understand the World Bank as well as the African Development Bank are not working alone. They are working with our development partners, talking about Abuja, and I don't know where Nigeria comes in at this particular point in time.
To come in, because you're talking about a country of more than 200 million citizens. In this case, we're talking about both corporate citizens and individual citizens relying on less than 10,000 megawatts of electricity per. I mean, once you look at it from that angle, you will know that our strategic industrial sectors will suffer. Our strategic commercial sectors will suffer. Our strategic domestic sectors will suffer. So if we don't do something about energy, then I mean we can never talk about economic prosperity. And if there is no economic prosperity, we are not going to have political prosperity or political power. You can only have political power when you have economic power. Another thing again you need to check and see again is this: if all the industrial sectors are not doing well, and we have seen companies that are still collapsing due to lack of energy or high energy cost, that means company income tax is going to go down. Pay as you earn tax is going to go down. So when you look at it technically, tax is a major revenue for all countries. But when we look at it from the context of Nigeria, if taxes are not there, then a major source of revenue has been cut out or shut out. So it is necessary in the interest of Nigeria we do something about it. And I'm happy they didn't restrict themselves to only renewable energy or one form of energy. In the case of Nigeria, I mean, there is renewable energy. We have fossil fuel. We also have hydro. then we need to do something about it. I mean, when you look at our gas reserves, Nigeria is more of a gas nation than an oil nation. From our just our natural gas, we can drive gas turbines to generate electricity. If we also need to be guided, Nigeria is a member of a cartel called Gas Exporting Countries Forum, with headquarters in Doha, Qatar. And Nigeria, that technically means Nigeria should be as lead as Qatar. From our natural gas, we will be able to get ammonia. From ammonia, we will be able to get urea. From urea, we will be able to boost agriculture by having enough fertilizer. So Nigeria is well positioned. We have the raw material, we have the human capital. All we need is to start the implementation with proper policies.
Okay, great. Still looking at the Nigerian situation. Yes, we have all the resources needed to power every nook and cranny of Nigeria, from hydro to the gas and also renewable energy. We have abundance of sunlight and all of that. While we're yet to harness these potentials for the growth of our economy, particularly the real sector. Yes, infrastructure, talking about power infrastructure, has been a challenge. Now we are beginning to see states beginning to go off the national grid, making it a little bit decongested. Forum yesterday, foreign investment forum yesterday, where I met foreign investors that power is not an issue in Enugu. What do you think Nigeria, other states in Nigeria, can borrow from the Enugu model?
I mean, when you talk about grid generally, you are either talking about on grid, mid grid, or off grid. When you look at Enugu, you are now talking about Nigeria, the states or the regions seeing themselves as federating units. Whatever we can do to generate electricity or generate power is needed. Because when you look at it, the way things are, without power, you will not have good health. Even the epidemic we are talking about that Nigeria is experiencing today, we are experiencing serious epidemic because there is no water. How can you get water? You can only get water by having electricity to pump water from the boreholes. We've heard about health institutions not having light. We've heard about teaching hospitals not having light for many months. We've heard about different places. We've heard about processing units, not having electricity or power. So it is something that is imperative. We need to have it done, because if you don't, I can tell you, let's tell ourselves the truth, investors will not come in. Even the investors that have been shying away from operating in Nigeria.
Okay, since we're having a little bit of a glitch there, but if you can hear me, Mr. Bala, Zakka, I agree with you quite well. This cannot be overemphasized, as it were, at this particular point in time. But looking at it, where Nigeria is among other 12 countries, talking about Senegal, Tanzania, and Zambia, having to enjoy this benefit or this particular grant that is going to come from the World Bank as well as the African Development Bank. How do we cash in on this? Because I understand also that the reason why we're not having enough of this in this country is that finances for the upscale of this critical infrastructure is also an issue. How do we tap into this fund to get the better chunk of it, more so that we have the largest population amongst all the beneficiaries mentioned? Okay, it seems at this point we've lost contact with.
Can you hear me?
Okay, Mr. Zakka, I said for Nigeria, how do we cash in on this opportunity where Nigeria is amongst 12 countries singled out as beneficiaries, talking about Senegal, Tanzania, and Zambia, amongst others? If you look at it, we have the largest population, we have the largest resource base. How can we utilize this?
The first thing is not to just think about the money. The major thing is to plan. If you want to have partnership, show that you are organized, show that you are capable. If you want to bring in partners to come and partner with you in education, show that you can manage your schools, even as government. If you want to bring partners to manage your aviation sectors, show that you can also manage it yourself. You must negotiate from the point of strength. If you want to bring in partners to come and manage your hospitals, show that you can do something with the few hospitals that we have. That is the way you bring in partners. Then, as far as I am concerned, the privatization of the Nigerian power sector to me was ill advised, because to me it's a complete failure. I know that some sectors can be privatized, they will do well. Some can be deregulated, they will do well. Some can be liberalized, they can do well. Some can even be commercialized. But as government, let us even show that we can do it ourselves. When you show that you can do it yourself, when partners are coming, they will respect you and you can negotiate from the point of strength. Most of the time, we show that we are not capable as Nigeria or Nigerian government. And that's why investors have no regard for us. Whether they are Nigerian investors coming from the diaspora or they are multinationals. Whatever we have, let us show that we can manage it. And when you're talking about the grant, it's in like manners. Let's show that we have the capabilities to do the little that we can to advance our country and our economy and our power sector. And once we get such grant, then responsible and credible investors will come in and partner with Nigeria.
Okay, great. I agree with you that Nigeria is actually work in progress as it is. But in all of this, where is the place of sustainability? Yes, it's not just enough to attract such kind of investments. How do we retain this investment for the benefit of our economic growth?
Why Nigeria is not being respected is because we have shown that in the area of sustainability we have failed. So we need to recalibrate our strategies. We had refineries before. We couldn't sustain them. And that's why others that we are inviting to come in and partner with us to revive our refineries are not respecting us. We had our aviation sector before. We refused to sustain it and manage it. That's why when we invite partners to come in and partner with us, they have no respect for us. There was a time we had electricity that was working. It was because we couldn't manage it. So sustainability has been an issue. We had very good health sector before. Foreigners were coming to our hospitals. We couldn't sustain them. We had good education system in Africa. Foreigners were coming to Nigerian universities and polytechnics. So sustenance is an issue. We need to do something about that. Because in a country of more than 100 universities and 100 polytechnics, it is very unfortunate to say that we cannot even generate electricity ourselves. It is very unfortunate to say we cannot manage our hospitals. Our people have to travel abroad. It is very unfortunate to say we cannot manage our refineries. So when you look at it, I totally agree with you. It's one thing to get the partners. It's one thing to go into relationship. But sustainability is a factor. And we need to come up with policies that will make sure we don't have new structures, whether health sectors, education or power sectors, built or put in place. But sustainability is something that we must put at the forefront. Sustainability is a problem in Nigeria, but it can be fixed with good leadership, direction and policies.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bala Zakka. On that note, is about implementation, actionable implementation of those policies to take us to where we should be in the coming years. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us at this time.
Thank you.